where style meets grace. There you will find Emilie Goldblum. At this intersection, she choreographs her life with care and balance, moving through each step, providing space and gratitude while being mindful of each moment.
First of all, Emilie Goldblum, thank you so much for taking the time to share this space, this time to have this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. It's always an honor to be a part of AwareNow and your whole family. So thank you.
Appreciate you. Let's get right into this conversation by starting this way. Let me just list these off. An athlete, an actress, a mother, a wife. You have a way of moving people with how you move, with how you carry yourself in so many ways. With style and grace, Emilie, you seem to embody this sense of ease. And ease isn't easy these days with so much uncertainty in the world. So I guess my first question is, what is it that's at your core that keeps you so calm and cool and collected?
Thank you. Those are all really kind. It's just really kind and thoughtful. And I think at the core, to get to the answer, is humility, I guess. There's just always this inner part is like appreciative of like being just humble and knowing that I've been lucky, I've worked hard, and that things could all be very different. We just don't know. At any point, anybody's life could be very different. So every day that I wake up healthy, every day that my kids wake up healthy, my husband, I'm just so grateful for that. That in itself, our health.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, like they say, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So that's a great point, a great reminder. It's just, it's everything.
It's the saying, like that saying of like, you can, forget your accomplishments and then like remember your mistakes and learn from them. And I think I tried to do that. I tried to like not live in the past and continue to move forward and try to be a better version of myself that I was today, tomorrow, and so on and so forth.
Well, I don't know how you do it, because between your work schedule, school schedules, travel schedules, you have a lot scheduled. How do you bring and keep balance in your life?
Yeah, I think that's like my number one priority is balance, like trying to eat healthy, trying to be healthy, but also giving myself room to be a human, like I love chocolate, and we were at a play date earlier with the kids, and they had this like homemade cake, and then they had a little bit of chocolate and cookies, and like, the kids were eating, and I was like, here, have some fruit, but also letting them eat the chocolate. And myself, like even after dinner, I just had a little piece of white chocolate before popping on here with Jeff. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this interview, and he's like, you want a piece of chocolate? I was like, sure, so. But, our dinner, I made it and it was delicious. It was just like some turkey sausages and green beans and avocado and kale. So there's like a lot of healthy things there. Yeah. But then I'm also not afraid to, eat a little sugar it's like it tops off your whole meal. It feels good. And, I'm not like eating to excess. So, I just don't think there should be such strict rules when it comes to like food and diet and lifestyle. I just feel like that balance hopefully can come from your own unique desires and likes and dislikes. I think there's so much judgment out there, and I'm guilty of it too. And I try to remind myself like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, dude, slow down, stop. Where's that coming from? Because more, I think it's Eckhart Tolle. He always like mentions about like your pain bodies And we all have them. And it's like, it comes from somewhere, from an experience, from your childhood, from, a teacher, a coach or whatever. And it's nice when you can jump in and like catch your thought, whether it's like a negative thought about somebody or yourself. And then just being aware and being like, okay, let's cool down. Let's not go down that road. Like, and why are you doing that? For me, like that why is always helpful. It's like, oh, you're kind of like insecure about this. And so you're fearful, and that's why you're thinking these things.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. It's interesting the fact that we do have to sort of, to your point, jump in. We have to interject. We have to interrupt ourselves sometimes,
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of times. And I think that's where like, that whole wellness of like life and that balance of like yoga, Pilates, exercising, like all of that are really great outlets, and practices to remind yourself, like, when something gets hard in your workout. For me, for example, like I'll hold my breath and I'm like, oh, like, so it's just the training of our mind, because it's such a tricky thing. It likes to take over and do its like autopilot, and we have to come in and be like, no, like you're kinder than that, you're better than that. And again, like, you're just feeling insecure or afraid or whatever it is that you're feeling, identify it and then move on, and not like beat yourself up about it. Because I've done that too. Like, as we grow up, grow older, we do it all. We kind of like, we can experience and be everything that we love about ourselves and everything that we hate about ourselves.
Right. We don't have to be this or that. We can be both and just learn to evolve.
Evolve and be like graceful in our mistakes, and just like, okay, that wasn't cool. And then if it's something like with somebody versus like your thoughts, if it's actually like something you weren't kind and talking to the way you talk to somebody or your spouse. For me, like sometimes, I feel like that's the first person that we can always take out our aggression, our frustrations on, are the people we're most comfortable with, whether it's like your mom, like, people that you're closest with. And so it's always, for me, important to like step back and realize like, hey, I was kind of impatient with you, and I shouldn't have been like that, and I'm sorry. Owning your faults, I guess.
Right. But I love that too, just to pause and to take like an inventory of that. Like, okay, what do I need to reevaluate and look at? What I like to look at is about a time in your life, perhaps, where, because balance, we've been talking about balance, where your life was without balance. Can you think of a story to share where things were so unbalanced and so uncomfortable? I'd love to know what that was and how you were able to course correct and restore that balance again for yourself.
So I feel like there's like been two, there's been more, but that I'm willing and able to share. So early on, when I was training as a rhythmic gymnast, and when I had just transitioned out of artistic gymnastics into rhythmic gymnastics, and the two sports, even though they're two gymnastics, they're both very different, and there's two different body types. And so I was coming into rhythmic gymnastics with this artistic gymnastics body type, which was kind of like a little bit stockier, but way stronger. And then in rhythmic gymnastics, I ended up developing longer, flexible, stretchy muscles. But, my coach at the time, who I still adore, I have a very complicated relationship with, I love her, but she was, harsh in her words with my body type. And I think I remember I like started to make myself throw up for like a week. So it wasn't very long, but still it was like this very drastic measure that I thought like I wanted to do. And then, my mom was like, you can't keep doing this. If you do, I will pull you out of the sport. And so, yeah, it was like that boundary early on. It was an adult that I trust and love that stepped in and provided the boundary for me. And then I was young, so I was able to course correct. And I think, when we're young, we're able to like bounce back quickly and not aggressively judge yourself. Like you kind of move forward things quicker when you're 11, and which is the age that I was. But yeah, like, so yeah, that was the bound, because I had like that boundary with my mom, somebody I trusted. And later on, I feel like I had sort of imbalance when I first moved to Los Angeles. Probably like the second year, and like it was just really hard. I was on a very, very tight budget, like for food, for buying like food for the week and stuff. And so again, my diet kind of suffered, and so I think I got really skinny. And I would eat, and I was working for like this coconut water company, so I would drink a lot of coconut water, and freakishly enough, like you can kind of survive off of, it wasn't good, but I was able to like barter sometimes, like when I would, because I was like a taste sampler girl at several different Whole Foods in California. And so sometimes I could like barter some coconut water for like what the other people were tasting, sampling at the Whole Foods. And I had a very good friend who worked at Starbucks, and like at closing, they would like discard all their like food that was going to be bad the next day, even though it wasn't like really bad, but it wasn't good enough to sell. So he would like call me and be like, hey, I've got leftover sandwiches, you want them? And I was like, yeah. So it was just like survival mode, I guess. I find that like, that's when things are in imbalance. It's like when you're just literally living to survive or trying to survive. And for me, it worked out, and it was worth it. Because I don't know, I have this like strange naivety about like believing in myself, like I am humble, but I also believe in my strengths, I guess, and I believe in my determination, and I believe in like, I just believe in myself that I will get to wherever I need to go, even if I think it's one thing at one point in time and then it morphs and develops and journeys into something different. I'm accepting and open to see the course play itself out versus like try to micromanage and shape it into what I wanted it to be.
Right.
So I think that's what's really helped me to course correct, is like being open to like, oh, this is where you want it to go, but now it's going here, and maybe you should just go with the waves, we all have that. I think like we all have our natural strengths and our natural things that gravitate towards us versus us trying to like clamor on, hold on to something and make something work. It just feels like too much work for me. Sometimes I like to work really hard, but I want it to also feel supple, natural, healthy, balanced,
Yeah, and I love how you say that. The fact that you pointed out that yes, you are humble, but at the same time you are confident in yourself, and it's okay. I think sometimes we feel like having confidence, like, oh no, I have to be more humble. Like, no, it's okay. Like, own you. It's okay. It's crazy that we have to give ourselves permission sometimes almost to do that,
Yeah, it's strange because it's not like, I don't know, like the more I meet people who have everything they want and more and have achieved their goals, those people, the ones that I meet that are like they're the most humble and not the ones that are like screaming at the top of Instagram or whatever, saying how amazing they are. Like they don't need to. And so, yeah, like my confidence is a personal, internal thing that I just believe in my work ethic. I believe in my strengths and my passion. And usually, what I end up doing is I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. So it's hard to not. It's just hard to not believe in me because it's like, well, I love this.
Right. Right. And that always helps for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be different if I was trying to go into like, I don't know, the stock market where I like don't know anything, or trading. Like, then I would be very insecure and like, not sure if I would sink or swim.
And that's interesting. That makes me think that perhaps when we do feel comfortable and confident, it's sort of an indicator. Maybe it's the universe's indicator that yes, you're going the right way. You're doing what you're supposed to be because you're comfortable.
Right. Or you usually like you're listening to yourself, you're following what you want to be doing versus like what's cool on paper or what somebody else wants you to be doing. And for that, I'm super grateful of like just how I've somehow navigated to always follow what my heart's desire, whether it's in relationships, whether it's with friendships, whether it's work, moving from destination to destination. Like it's always been something that I've been really passionate about.
Well, speaking of moving from one thing to another, regarding manners of movement, what I find interesting is that what's physically important mirrors what's emotionally and mentally vital as well. So I'm speaking about what you know very well, strength and flexibility. So your greatest passion, I love this, that it is to help women find their own unique version of physical excellence. Because I feel like so often we think of the word perfect and we think of a particular form that's not us. And so trying to find our version of perfect for us. I would love for you just to share about Emilie Goldblum, which so many of us have fallen in love with.
Oh, thank you. Well, Emilie Goldblum and like the like fitness side of it, the Emilie Goldblum stretch is just like, it's literally that. Like, I just want to empower and give tools to other women of like feeling comfortable in your own skin in movement and not feeling like you have to fit a certain mold, because we all come from different walks of life. Yes, we're all human and we're all made up generally of the same things, DNA, not DNA, but like, molecules and cells and all that, and our internal organs and everything. But it's like we all have very unique childhoods, bodies, with bone placements, like all of that makes a huge difference on like people's physical ability. And so for me, Maison Goldblum stretch is just like about giving the tools to people and letting people know that like it doesn't always need to look cool or look sexy, because like that's so much of what we see out there. It's like this like permanent lip pout, and it's like working out to like look sexy, and it's like, I don't know, I want people to have fun when they work out, and I want them to let go of their inhibitions and not just be like, I need to do it like you, Emilie. And I'm like, no, like I don't want people to do anything like me, because I'm me and they're them, and all I care about is like the like proper alignment and like measuring your point A to your point B, your personal best. And I think that's just because that's what I know, that's what I've done with myself, and it's sort of been this life-saving lifeline tool that I keep coming back to.
Well, it's beautiful. And Let's switch gears and talk about the stage and the screen, because when it comes to the stage and the screen, you've experienced so much on both sides. So I'd love for you just to share a couple of things, what you feel is the best performance that you have ever given, and then also the best performance that you have ever seen, that you've ever watched. And I know it's a lot because you've seen a lot and you've been in a lot.
Oh. Yeah, I know. It's a tough one. I feel like the best, I guess, the best thing that I've ever seen, it's like when I was 11, for sure. When I was in Moscow, I was training in Russia, and I wonder if it's because it was like, when you're young and things like really shape you and you really get like, I don't know, not marked, but yeah, like you get marked by something. And so, yeah, it was when I went to, it's in Russian, it's called Lebedin Ozera, which is Swan Lake, and it was at the Bolshoi Theater. And so that was like literally the best ballet that I've ever seen. Remarkable, poetical, beautiful, graceful, strong, powerful, like just, and there was just such passion, in everything. So that's probably the best thing that I've ever seen. But I don't know what to say about like the best thing that I've done. I don't know. It's hard to say. I really don't know. Because like, I don't know. Like, I think what I could phrase it as like the performance that perhaps I, enjoyed maybe the most, and just the whole experience maybe was like, I think performing at the Oscars for the weekend, for Earned It, it's like with an amazing group of dancers, women, female dancers that, I look up to. I was in the air doing aerial, and I love this choreographer, Fatima Robinson, who I was working for. The music I loved. It was like just sensual, beautiful, sexy, but easy, not like face. I don't know. It's just,
Right.
I don't know. I really vibed with that whole experience. And then just, I think it was always a dream of mine to perhaps one day perform at the Oscars. Yeah. And I loved the costume, the look of it. Like everything was just kind of in my wheelhouse of like likes and wishes.
Right. It was all aligned with you, it sounds like.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Well, so the thing of it is that we have loved The World According to Jeff Goldblum. When it comes to your world with Jeff, according to you, Emilie, what is it that you love most about the life that the two of you have created together?
Definitely, it's like the amount of laughter and growing that we do together. Like, I feel like he really pushes me to see myself clearly, and I do the same with him. And we have really kind of healthy discussions. Before we got married, we went and saw a therapist, and I loved our therapist. She's passed, but so I think we enjoy that, the nurturing of who we are at the core, but then also like evolving and trying to be better, more compassionate, more communicative without like any sort of microaggression, like passive aggressiveness. So I think it's definitely, he's the person that I've ever been able to like tell him things that I've never been able to tell other people. So yeah, it's just feeling really safe, and protected and laughing all the time. So like, yeah, if we're not having like a serious conversation, it's just like really fun. It's, life is more fun because we're together.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love how you say just nurturing each other and seeing each other more clearly. Sometimes I think we do get in the way of ourselves, and to have someone who can sort of bring us back to who we are.
Yeah. And it's not like, yeah, and it's like honoring that this is who you are, and then honoring this is who I am, and not trying to like wipe it away. It's like we love those things about the other person, but it's just about like this deeper understanding of like what it is in this particular moment that he may need that I wouldn't particularly need in that moment, and then vice versa. And I think that's a really I wasn't able to do that in past relationships with other people, so I feel like for me that was a really rare thing, and to have it with my husband, it's amazing, and with our children, and being able to lead it by example and to model it, like where they hear us talking calmly about a disagreement, being respectful and kind at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that leads me right into the next question that I had for you. And it's the fact that we all want to give our kids the best. So when it comes to your Charlie and your River, what is the best part of yourself, Emilie, that you want to give to them?
I think it's that kooky kind of like carefree but passionate person and kid that I have within me. But I think it's also like a little bit of like forgetting, not holding on to something, a grudge, not holding on to an experience that wasn't a good one. It happened, learn from it, and then try. And for me, it happens almost naturally. And I don't know, I think I've read that it's like children of trauma, it's like almost a natural thing that you do just to self-preserve. And it's like forgetting. And I don't like, sometimes I'll be like hearing stories about something from when I was growing up or in gymnastics from other gymnasts. And I'm like, what? Really? Like that? Like, and it's literally, I've forgotten it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, because I know now as an adult, I know that there was a level of abuse. I wasn't sexually abused. I'm not in gymnastics or anything, but there was a level of psychological abuse, physical, and because I think I've managed to like talk about it with a therapist, and the parts that I remember also like, and then the other parts where I like forgot, it's been good for me to move on with my life and have a happy, normal life without constantly being haunted or hurt by something that was out of my control. And it's just nice that I don't have to remember that all the time.
I think that's such a good point too, that what a gift forgetting can be, just again permission to not have to continue to carry something that that you shouldn't have to carry. So
right, like my choice. So it's like, yeah, I want to do what I can to forget. Obviously, you don't, your body, that was the book that I read it, and The Body Keeps the Score. And I found that book really helpful for me, just in understanding things about myself. And like, yeah, like I used to think forgetting was a horrible thing. Like I was so harsh on myself about that. I was always like, oh my God, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. You're so dumb. You forget. And then I was like, oh, I read that. And I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, this was your survival mechanism. And no, you don't forget everything. So, yeah, it's.
Wow. When it comes to, so we've talked about giving our best to the world, to our spouses, to our kids. When it comes to giving our best to support the causes that we care about, so as an official ambassador of Awareness Ties, that we support causes through storytelling. So I guess, what is your story, Emilie, of the many causes that need awareness raised and action taken? What would you say are a couple of the ones that you are most passionate about?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it comes back to that balanced wellness, healthy as you can be, in your given circumstance. So yeah, it's about like lifestyle and making conscious choices, and that's where I kind of see myself as I give classes online for anybody and everybody who would like to take class. It's always available, and so I feel like that's like the movement of it, because if you're moving, you're not remembering something that could have been traumatic to you. And I think like that's my passion, is like helping people gain that confidence and let go of things that were making life difficult for them. There's just, life is too short, and you want people to have, or I want people to have like contented, happy lives, and life's not easy. Like there's many quotes about how life is not like, it's not always going to be a simple road. So, I just try to do my best in that way, and sharing what I know best with the world.
Well, you do a beautiful job at that. So speaking to more sayings and whatnot, life is a dance, they say. And sometimes we dance alone, sometimes we dance with a partner. Either way, we are moving through all of these moments, right, of our life. My next question for you, Emilie, is what is it that keeps you moving? What is it that keeps you passionate about the present moment?
Yeah, I think that's just it. That's just what I'm meant to be doing, is just like going with each new day. Like I was saying earlier about me just being grateful to be alive and healthy every morning. And so with each new series of movements, it's like a new breath, and so I think like that's all I can really ask for, is like being here in this moment, appreciating this moment, whether it's a good one or a bad one, and then moving on from it, I guess, like not being too far ahead. And that's the tricky part about it. It's just like, yeah, you don't want to be in the past. You don't want to be too far ahead. You want to be right here and right now. I think it was also Eckhart Tolle who said something about like, you can be in any situation and you can either accept, be upset or happy about a situation, and you can like choose to do that. And I know it's not, obviously that's not easy to do in many difficult situations, but just I think, I guess, I don't know, accepting what the moment is and doing your best.
Yeah, not forcing it to be one thing or another, but just to allow it, and as you show, just to move through it with with grace. It's what a gift that is.
Yeah. Just being present is about, I think, that just accepting and doing your best in that moment. And what more can we really do?
Nothing else really. I think perhaps it is just inhale, exhale, repeat, and that's what we do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more question for you, my dear, would be this. Going back to that whole dance thing, being that life is a dance, if you could only move to one song on repeat the rest of your life, what would it be? Hardest question of this whole interview right now.
Especially for me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Probably like one of the Beatles songs for sure. I always loved Strawberry Fields Forever. Like I just could listen to that on repeat, and it's like nice and long, and it changes, and it's trippy and wild, and I don't know. I probably could listen to that.
Strawberry Fields on repeat. That doesn't sound like a bad thing. So thank you so much, Emilie, for taking all this time to share of yourself, to share your truth, and just for helping all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allié.